Lick my nuts, lick my nuts, suck my butt, suck my butt, lick my nuts, lick my nuts.
Okay, so in the early 90s, Memphis was pretty disconnected from big recording industries compared to other major cities like LA or New York. So you had this very interesting pairing of a burgeoning hip-hop scene that simply didn't have the same resources that other areas had at the time. Due to artists often having to self-release or to release music through smaller labels, Memphis rap would develop a unique lo-fi feel that, despite being formed out of necessity, would come to define some of the most important sounds from the scene. Another aspect of not being as connected to a major label is that Memphis rap was generally darker, lyrically with vulgar themes typical of gangster rap, but with violent themes that took inspiration from general horror and slasher films as well. Not only was this music darker lyrically, but also sonically, with a bassy, ghostly atmosphere. This would help launch several genres like horrorcore, cloud rap, trap, and Phonk. The ghostly atmosphere, deep bass, repetitive use of percussion like cowbells, 808s, along with inspiration of DJ Screw, would be the Memphis sounds that would coalesce into Phonk. These styles would transcend state borders, most notably with Miami rapper Space Ghost Perp. Space Ghost, despite being more associated with cloud rap, would actually invent the term Phonk with his song Bring the Phonk in 2012. In the 2010s, we started to really see a renewed interest in Memphis sounds among online music producers. I've listened to a few tracks from the 2010s era of Phonk, and, okay, honestly, I never thought I'd say this. I kind of like Phonk. There's a really interesting contrast in high energy, deep bass, fast staccatos, fast flows, dark lyrics, paired with ghostly melodies underneath, and spacey drums that make it oddly relaxing to listen to. You can really see this eclectic contrast going track by track, especially.
Trying to lock me in the cell so I can write in hell.
Okay, a lot of hip-hop, especially hip-hop I listen to a lot, is really in your face. It's very bombastic. It's a very attention-grabbing genre. So it's refreshing to get a genre of hip-hop that is surprisingly more sonically subtle. More subtle. More subtle. More subtle. More subtle. More subtle. Okay, so here are my favorite releases I've listened to while making this video. You should really check these out.
Standing high above the world as I look upon the masses. Do whatever you can for your life. Hop up in my drop top, rolling in the cruise, looking in my rear view.
Okay, so how did it turn into this? As the COVID-19 pandemic started, TikTok launched at the perfect time when we didn't have anything better to do. This laid the groundwork for Phonk to rise with the help of Russia, of all places. It's a bit hard for me to see exactly when and why Russian music producers would start making Phonk. Apparently Russia is a surprisingly large place for underground electronic music that not only evolved based on what was going on inside the country's borders, but far away to even Memphis with Phonk. This new evolution of Phonk, eventually called Drift Phonk, would incorporate elements of EDM and, most importantly, Russian culture. The use of the language leaning to a more distinctly stereotypically Russian aggression and a connection to speed racing, of all things. Russian producers would start to share and spread their music on TikTok, which would both ignite the genre's popularity and lucrativeness. I think what really made this music perfect for TikTok specifically is what influenced Phonk to sound how it does now, is how these tracks are both repetitive and impactful. If you're making any sort of edit where you're showing rapid-fire clips and want to emphasize how cool something is, Phonk is a no-brainer choice. Phonk's prevalent use on TikTok was a double-edged sword, sadly. Phonk was and still is massive on TikTok. As an artist, you not only get some money if your music is used on TikTok, but your music is basically getting free exposure as people are naturally inclined to use it. The bad side is while you're becoming a millionaire, the art just isn't there. Drift Phonk has basically gotten to the point where it's a parody of itself. Any artistic nuance has been abandoned as the music has become TikTok-fied and brain-rotted for maximalized attention. It's maximized for edit potential to the point of being so boiled down to being simultaneously basic enough and attention-grabbing enough that's basically just Cocomelon at this point. The TikTokification of Phonk massively separated it from any aesthetic or cultural root, being replaced by the Sigma male, Patrick Bateman, fucking Andrew Tate, clavicular aesthetics of TikTok, along with anime gooner and what the fuck is this? It's really interesting because the same exact thing happened to another genre, dubstep. Dubstep went from being a style born from a very specific cultural context to any artistic nuance being just squeezed out to maximize attention at the sacrifice of both quality and any actual respect, to the point of the genre basically being a joke at this point. Is this Phonk? Is this what Phonk is now? What even is Phonk anymore? To answer that, we need to see what the ultimate Phonk song is. But I need assistance. I need an expert in the world of Phonk.
Alright, so I formerly listened to Phonk. It was around 2022, and earlier, kind of that 2020 phase. Basically when I was first introduced to TikTok, I started listening to Phonk. I wanted to be a wheelchair basketball player. And kind of like around that 2020 age, I would listen to Phonk and like imagine myself dunking in a wheelchair, and then like getting all the girls in the crowd, like they would all come rushing to me and be like, "Oh my god!" So anyway, I kind of like envisioned myself doing these things, or like I was like in an edit. Phonk just kind of, I don't know why, but back then it kind of just provoked those thoughts. I mean, it was weird, but I guess for me it was kind of a vice to imagine, things that I could do, or that I would do if I could, that kind of thing.
Talk about, because you mentioned this privately with me.
Yeah.
Your Elliot Ham scenarios you could envision.
Okay, so, no diss to Elliot Ham. Me and him are great friends now, and we were still great friends, back when this happened, but I was just kind of a weirdo. Basically, I would envision myself beating up Elliot Ham while listening to Phonk. I was listening to Neon Blade, and I was thinking about Elliot. I don't know, he probably I don't really know my daydreams, but he would say something that would annoy me, and then I would
eviscerate him.
I would punch him in the face, and then he would start crying, and then I'd keep beating him. It was a reoccurring vision. It would happen very often. I'm not sure why. I'm not a violent person. It's just kind of something that the vision would take place in the lunchroom where everyone was watching, so I had like mad aura. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like I would beat the crap out of Elliot, and then I'd be tough. And then, Mr. Herdlissa would come over to me, and then he would take me to the principal's office, and I'd act like I didn't even care, that kind of thing. And I'd be like, he deserved it. And I'd be Billy, that kind of thing.
And then you'd beat him up.
And then so I can't say I'm proud of this, obviously. But again, this was actually later. This was 2022. My grandpa David passed away. I didn't have the best relationship with him because I never met him, but he was an okay guy from what I've heard. So, all my family was there, blah, blah, blah. We were sitting in the pews because it was in a church. And I don't know why I had headphones in. I did, though. They were my dad's AirPods. Because probably at the time I had some Minion headphones that didn't really work. So I was listening to Phonk while he was in his casket and we were doing the funeral. So it's not really a proud memory for me, but it is a staple in my kind of Phonk journey. I was never envisioning anything, but I was just listening to Phonk. I don't know why.
Okay, so I have a list of 5 songs and 3 big criteria. 1, what does our expert think of it? 2, does the track make for a good edit? And this one's more complicated. 3, with the deep association Phonk has with the manosphere, listing the most Phonk is a red flag. Any woman with any ounce of self-preservation will never want to talk to you if you play this shit for her. We'll be playing by golf rules, so the lower the score means the Phonk is more definitively Phonk. Now, I was originally going to do this part by myself. Do you guys want to listen to Phonk? So I got someone to go undercover. Metamorphosis, what do you think about this track?
Give me a couple more seconds. Okay. this evokes a lot of memory for me because this was something that I listened to 24/7. It was probably in my playlist at Grandpa's funeral. So I like this song mainly just because it doesn't really sound like a funk. It was more this drift funk category. It's got a smooth beat to it. It's not like super aggressive, and it can kind of go for any like situation that you're envisioning in your head, you know, if you're like me, or younger me at least.
Because like when I hear this, I'm kind of thinking about like a kid on like a little skateboard, like going down the cyberspace or something like that, like old internet, a journey almost.
Yeah,
Feels like
it's almost nostalgic.
Going down a little rabbit hole.
Yeah, it's almost nostalgic, not just because I used to listen to it, but it just evokes feelings like that. So I would say this is actually pretty good compared to the other ones that I've listened to. So I would say this is actually top of my list on the Phonk scale, if that makes any sense.
I think it does what it does pretty well. It's not like a track that I go on my way to listen to.
Yeah.
Maybe because I've just like heard it so much, it's kind of like part of the wallpaper. And there aren't really like that many moments that like surprise me. But I think it's a pretty good track. It's not something that would turn off.
Yeah.
So
can I see the album cover? You mind if I see?
Oh yeah.
So
Femboy.
8 out of 10.
Okay.
Yo, I got this new beat. Are you ready? Do you want to hear it? Okay. Oh, turn it off. No, it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Okay, so the more recent track right here.
Okay. Now, originally, I really hate this, and I still kind of do, mainly because of the beginning. But once you get to that beat drop, I actually genuinely enjoy it, almost kind of like I did with Metamorphosis. It's a faster, kind of more, I don't know, not aggressive pace, but you do kind of have that. Editing-wise, like, if you were to make an edit with this, I think you could get something good out of it.
It's a song that I feel like is less of a song, more of a soundtrack
I
whatever
agree.
is over it. Because I feel like a Metamorphosis as a track can function better on its own. Tiki Tiki just kind of mimes.
It's only good with what it's paired with.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. On its own, you're not getting much from it, and I don't like it. That's the whole reason.
Yeah.
And kind of how this generation has taken a spin on this, I don't like, kind of with the new, I don't know, it's kind of become this like annoying thing because of how overplayed it's been with the whole Tom Pearl stuff.
Tiki, 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 mate tiki taka. Tiki, 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 tiki.
Okay, but like there's this other one. Oh, turn it off. Oh, no, thank you. No, it's beautiful.
Tiki Tiki, what would you give that one? Tiki, tiki, tiki.
I give that a 4, mainly just because of the association with Tom Pearl. Oh, man.
Мы из поколения мужчин, выращенных женщинами. Поможет ли другая женщина в решении наших проблем?
Okay.
So before you start talking, I feel like this one really illustrates not only Phonk as a sound, but also Phonk as like what it's become culturally, or as like what really like started Phonk as we see it today. Because you immediately get to things that were important to Phonk's like new life. One, the association with speed racing, and two, just Russian in general.
Yeah.
You get that immediately in
Yeah.
the beginning. But
Yeah.
I wanted to hear your opinion about this.
So this is kind of this is the most aggressive one on our list, I think. And aggressive Phonk is a whole different genre.
It's a whole different beast.
Yeah. Mainly just because you get a certain different kind of editing,
Yeah.
and not just on an edit basis, but also when you're listening to it, you get different kind of thoughts. It provokes different thoughts, and not in like a cringy way. Like it genuinely, it makes you think of different things. Metamorphosis, you kind of think, like you were talking about, it's more of like a chill, evokes more calming chill thoughts. This kind of will evoke different, mainly
They're like fight scenes again.
fight scenes with Elliot Ham, basically.
Before you continue, I want to reveal that this is my favorite song
Is it really?
from this group that we chose.
Okay.
Not because I think the beginning is decent,
Yeah.
but the part where like you see in all the edits where it's
Where it drops off.
Yeah, where it
and
drops.
You get that.
Yeah. Because
Yeah.
what I love about this song compared to others is also I think the aggressiveness and heaviness. I think that's something I'm naturally attracted to, but also just because of its development and its changeability. It's not like for most Phonk songs, you get the intro, you get the beat, the not the beat, but the drop.
I know what you
and that's
mean.
pretty much it. But with this one has a lot of developments and changes into it. I feel like make it a interesting experience just in terms of listening, not only paired with something.
My question for you: why has like Russian become part of the Phonk genre? Because this is not the only song where you kind of get the Russian voice lines. I've heard it in so many other ones. Where does that even come from?
Well, I need to do more research on exactly how Russians attach themselves to Phonk, but I know that the launch of Drift Phonk and the TikTokification of Phonk was primarily because TikTok launched in Russia around the time of COVID, and how TikTok was used a lot of the time in Russia was as a way to put out like their music or advertise their music, which was mostly electronic, and that's why you saw like development of Phonk. And I think that Phonk's just naturally a genre that goes well with TikTok.
Well, and I think there's a certain crowd that sees Russia as kind of this like
Dangerous.
I mean, I don't see superior, but there are people who see it that way, and they kind of get this like aggressiveness from that, and that's where they put it in. But I think that's kind of where you get it from, and then also the atmosphere of the song or the ambiance, because when you listen to it, you kind of get this like dark atmosphere. And Russia generally has been seen to have this darkish kind of gloom to it. So that's kind of what you get from that. Neon Blade. Remind me how that goes again?
What?
Remind me how it goes again?
No. It's rated, boy. Boy, just rated, boy.
Oh my gosh. Dude, I'm such a top girl right now.
Like it's rated. Okay, what's Neon Blade? Neon Blade.
Wait, yeah. I don't even remember how it goes, but it's fine. Just play it really quick.
Okay. You're supposed to be the Phonkster.
I am, but I don't remember Neon Blade. Oh yeah. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Okay, no, that's like a 3. I freaking hate this one. Joking. No, this one actually is not that bad. Now hearing it again, I'll give it a 6.
Okay, but like, look at this edit, dude. It's like so good. No, turn it off. It's turn it off, off
dude.
art, bro.
No,
It's so good.
it's gross.
It's amazing.
Okay. Here's my take. It's your generic Phonk. I mean, it's not even that far from Neon Blade in the way of the aggression, and that's what you're getting from a lot of Phonks. And I think actually this one was one that I was listening to in assaulting Elliot Ham.
Yeah.
Not my grandpa's funeral. No, this one was when I was assaulting Elliot Ham, and I think it's because of the title. Not that I wanted to kill.
Murder My Mind.
Murder on My Mind. Great memories with Elliot Ham. Solid 6.
Okay.
You just like don't understand my art, bro. This is like true masterpiece. It's geeked off the art, bro.
Dude, stop it.
No, you just don't
Actually
understand
horrible.
true art, dude.
No, this is actually terrible.
No, it's like actually you just don't understand art.
Oh my gosh. Let's go to the beat drop.
Yeah, exactly what it is. You're expecting me to know exactly where the beat drop is?
You should know, Lincoln.
Or,
You studied Phonk. This is my favorite part. Okay.
so before you start talking, I think this one is really a good example of two things that I feel like we didn't really see in the other tracks where you get the element of like Phonk as like a tool or as a genre to remix other existing songs, and also Phonk as an element in like the general manosphere with like the whole entire like Giga Chad aesthetic.
So, you know, this Giga Chad kind of came from like the superior male, kind of like the
Like Andrew Tate.
yeah,
alt
Andrew
right,
Tate kind of
4chan.
this masculine, and not that it's really a good thing. I'm not an Andrew Tate supporter.
No.
I hate the guy, but you get it from, you know, like this. Unfortunately, the song is connected to that, but you kind of get this motivation from it, and that's what these people, like, I mean, David Goggins, Andrew Tate, they're all these like motivational speakers. Not that I think they're good at it, but you get this kind of motivation from it, and I think it's from the fast beat and the like higher pitch, but at the same time retaining some lower beats to it. That's what I like.
It's definitely workout music.
It definitely is. I probably have, when I was younger, probably lifted 3-pound weights to this. 8-year-old Owen lifting, or probably older
That's
than that.
impressive.
More of
though.
like 11-year-old Owen lifting 3 pounds. That's probably my max curl. But it's not the same anymore, by the way. I don't know. I think this is a good one. I think Metamorphosis will always be my favorite, mainly just because it's kind of this calmer. Like, I would be ashamed if I went up to someone and said, I listened to Neon Blade or the Giga Chad theme. Like, yeah, like, there's this song Metamorphosis, and you play it for them, and it's, like, not as bad. It's kind of more like a more respectable kind of.
Yeah.
But this one isn't as much. I don't think I'd be comfortable playing it for somebody if they were like, hey, get on the aux. You know what I mean? This one, though, is good for, like, yourself. And, like, personal time.
My main issue with the song is that I feel like the original version just does everything about it better.
Yeah.
Of course, maybe this one is more like dancier, more
Yeah.
repetitive, which makes it easier to like sort of get into. But I feel like this is the original song that's based off of just like hits much harder.
I actually do prefer the original as well. And when looking at the album cover,
It reminds you.
It reminds you that, wait, I gotta go get in shape like this guy, you know? Whereas, like, the Metamorphosis is like, I'm gonna go turn myself into a femboy.
Giga Chad theme.
Giga Chad theme. I'm gonna have to go with, like, a 4. I don't care much for that.
Yeah.
bro. You're gonna love this one. This is a true masterpiece.
When the going gets tough, you must